Welcome back to Exploring Paranormal with me, Stevie, and welcome to my crazy van life world. Yup, I live in a van. Dude, someone's gotta do it, man. Anyway, guys, the reason I'm bringing this video is because I want to show you some of the best ghost photographs that I have been bear witness to, or I've recorded myself. And in the video, I had to break it down from this one in the last video because I had so many ghost photographs. So I've made the 11 photos, okay? Well, I've got one top 5, and it's going to be a top 6 really, because it is got a bonus photograph in here that I had to put in because it's super creepy. So stay tuned to the very end to where you can find out about that creepy photo. But guys, if you're watching this, do me a favor, down below, hit the like button, give me some love so people can see my content throughout YouTube. If you don't hit the like, I don't show up throughout YouTube, and I don't get any followers or subscribers, only likes or watchers on my videos. So please show me some love, and if you can and you really want to, you can also subscribe. And of course, if you subscribe, you're going to get awesome content from myself. I have all sorts of cool things coming up, guys. I'm going to be checking out some paranormal equipment, showing you how to make it yourself. I'm going to be doing some reviews. I'm going to be hiring abandoned buildings, well, not abandoned buildings, I'm going to be sneaking into abandoned buildings, taking you along with me. But I'm also going to be hiring some haunted buildings, castles, prisons, witch prisons, dungeons, you name it. I'm going to be in there by myself with these recorders, filming for you guys. So hit the subscribe, and the best thing about that, guys, for my subscribers, I'm going to be selecting guys with competitions. You can come along with me. Yep, come along with me to haunted buildings, or I'll actually come to where you are. Obviously, if it's in the States or something, I might be able to do that, but if it's in the UK, if in Europe, I may be able to come to where you are, and you guys can take me to your most favorite haunted locations. So anyway, let's get to this one. Let's do this! So number 6 has got to be a photograph which is a little bit unexplainable. And remember, these get better as they go down to number 1. So this one here is what we call the Blue Lady. Now, as you can see in the photograph here, it clearly looks like a woman is standing up, is close by that table. Now that table, by the way, comes up to roughly here on me, so it's just below my chest. It's quite a high table inside a bar. And this was recorded in 2007 on a camera phone, and it's recorded at a pub. It used to be called Offshore 44, which is now a total different bar in Newcastle Quayside next to the Red House. Now, if you Google Offshore 44, you will find lots of information about it, and the building dates all the way back to something like the 1500s, and it's got some 6 floors, I believe, including the attic and the basement. Now, what's interesting is this woman looks like she's in Elizabethan style clothing, and this is, you can see what looks like a dress, and you can see she's got ample breasts. It's a side profile. You can see her brown hair, you can see her facial features, you can see where it curves out for the boob area, and it comes down to her front and her back section, and you can see what looks like white and blue colors inside of there. So it's not just it's not just like someone seeing images inside of a, inside a pattern or whatever. There's actual coloration going on inside of here. So it's a pretty interesting photograph. Let me know your thoughts. Is it a ghost? What is it? How can we explain this, guys? I'm a bit baffled by this one. Now, this next ghost photograph, guys, which is going to be number 5, is called Adam's Ghost. Now, Adam is a guy that I know very well, and he's with my cousin in this photograph. Now, I actually have blurred their faces out for their own privacy, and this photograph is a still from the video, which you can find on my YouTube channels, where it's called Zozo Ouija Board Gone Wrong or whatever. It's where we're inside a haunted barn, inside this haunted site, and yeah, things go really, really wrong. Things get thrown around the room. It's really scary. But guys, what I want to draw your attention to is his black silhouetted figure. No, it is not his shadow. Let me explain how this cannot be his shadow. First of all, look at the light source. The light source is coming across out this way, pushing over, which means the shadows will be behind him. This shadow is on the opposite side of him. What's also interesting is that this shadow is a different height to him. You can see Adam's skin from where his face is, and Adam's wearing a black hat. Look at the shadow, it's actually smaller than himself, and because the lighting is up, lightning pushing forward and up, it means the shadow would have been higher and taller than him behind him. What's also interesting is that this thing has got its own arm shape. Adam's arm was inside his jacket, as you can see on the video. What you're seeing here clearly is a silhouetted arm from the side. It's literally got a gap running down the side of it, which is pretty amazing. What was even better, guys, is that during the session, when we turned the lights down, we had a candle, electronic candle in the middle of the seance circle, which was flickering, and we could see our shadows. This shadow physically moved and left him and moved from behind him, and we heard noises of dragging and footsteps. Everybody was in the seance circle touching each other's hands, and as they're doing that, there was no way anybody could be moving around. This here is a shadow person, legit. In this next one, guys, this was a creepy experience I personally had. I was inside a haunted lighthouse. It dates our way back to the Victorian period, and while I was inside the lighthouse, a number of strange photographs were actually captured, but I'm keeping some of these photographs for a different video. But on this one here, I was totally by myself. There was no one in the building. I was walking about taking photographs of an old phone, and as I was coming down the corridor, I could clearly hear someone following me. I heard footsteps. I turned around and I snapped a couple of photographs, and as I was snapping photographs from the front and behind me, I clearly captured something. If you look on the right hand side of the photograph, you're going to see the glass panels, and you're going to see a reflection in the glass panels, or it's either through the glass panels. Either way, there seems to be some sort of dark silhouetted shape of a person standing there within the actual area. Could this be an actual ghost? Was I just tripping out at the time, or did I actually capture something on camera which I believe could have been paranormal? If you zoom in, you can clearly see it looks like the back of a person. You can see the top of their hairline where the light is shining on it, and you can see as the hair comes down, you can see the shoulders, and it's quite a thin person. You can even see the legs there as if the person's walking away. I can't explain this because the corridor behind that was total darkness apart from the very small light at the very end, and there's nothing but doorways on the other side of that actual glass. So it only means that that reflection could have been behind me and could have been walking away from me. Very creepy indeed. Let's get to this next one. Now this next one's coming straight from Newcastle upon Tyne, from the newcastleghostwalks.co.uk, and I tell you what, this is absolutely fantastic ghost photograph. It's a recording from, or a photograph from, the Black Gate in Newcastle upon Tyne. If you don't know what the Black Gate is, it's a medieval building with loads of dungeons and things like that, and it's said to be a poltergeist location. Newcastle Ghost Walks themselves have got over 4,500 witness statements of people actually having attacks there. This is everything from police officers, traffic wardens, all the way through to people like myself. I was there on a Sunday daytime and had my face physically squeezed. I've seen people scratched and people have been bitten there. It's pretty full on location. But what was amazing on this actual photograph, as you can see, is clearly the back end of the day. The sky's starting to darken, but it's still broad daylight. It was a German tourist, a lady who I do not know her name, so I'm sorry for this, but she actually took the photograph straight away when we stand inside the building after telling a ghost story. And what you can clearly see is a person or a misted thing in the road, but it actually looks like it's got two legs, as if it's walking, and some sort of turmoil mist. I don't know, when I look at the photograph, I do feel like an anger from it, and I also feel a sadness, like a depression from it, and I don't know if it's just me or what, but I have a funny feeling because the suicide bridge is right next to this, and this is like the kind of the area you may walk if you're going to commit suicide. And often when I see apparitions like this, it definitely done it, maybe something not necessarily sinister, but something sad and angry and dark. Now this is the only copy we do have of this photograph. It was kindly given to us at the time to be able to be used. The original has long since gone, and this had to be taken from the website that it was on from many moons ago, but you can clearly see it's something strange. Other people say they can see faces inside of it. Other people have said they can see a person sitting on the road holding their knees. I don't know about that, guys. You tell me down below what you can see and what you think it is. Now this ghost photograph again is one of my most favorite ghost photographs, and what I like about this is the credibility. Now the reason being is that we were actually contacted through our company Alone in the Dark Entertainment, and we were contacted by the Northumbria Police, and they were doing a psychological test, and the test was to take people as well as police officers and put them in situations where they would see if the psychological aspect of a building and the darkness and all these other things would affect witness statements. In other words, if you've seen an attacker coming in broad daylight and they attacked you and you give a statement, versus the same attack happening at night time, how does the statement change? Because it's darker and you're in maybe a scary spooky place in a lone alleyway or something, is the person twice the size, twice as evil, twice as nasty? They wanted to do this. So what we had is a very haunted building. We had to introduce the real idea of ghosts and stuff like that and use Ouija boards, and we got great results. It wasn't fake, nothing like that, but we did have to have people coming out of doorways which were real people, and they would just simply walk out, maybe say 2 words and then walk back in again. And what this meant is that they had to record what the person looked like, you know, what they said, and see if they can take the witness statement and see how it affects people. But what happened is we were down in the dungeon of the Newcastle Castle Keep, and we were actually doing a Ouija board session, and we had a great session. One of the police officers' grandmothers had just came through to him and was speaking to him through the Ouija board, or supposedly. And then all of a sudden we heard what sounded like shuffling feet. Now at the time we kind of sat back, looked up to the condemned man's staircase, which goes to the condemned man's cell. You can clearly see in this photograph here. And the footsteps seem to come from the doorway on the right hand side, which is the condemned man's cell itself. And it's got a metal gate. And the metal gate, when you close it, makes a god awful like scraping against metal sound. And it made something similar to that. And we expected, or they expected, a human to come out. So they fired cameras as well to see if they could capture anything that was, you know, a person, to see if it was a criminal or what the hell it was. And when they fired the cameras, they actually recorded this photograph, and this was taken by the actual police. Now what you can see clearly, people believe this is a female holding a baby. They also believe that it maybe is something else. I'm not too sure. A psychic said it was a female holding a baby. It definitely has a female form. It's a very feminine picture to myself, I believe it is anyway. The psychic even told us that the tentacles or the energy around it actually comes all the way down the staircase. And she said there's actually another spirit in front of her on the actual staircase coming down in the middle of the stairs. And there's also another in the actual doorway coming out just behind her. Now that is kind of creepy. That's 3 spirits on one picture. What we do know though through history is that a lady was actually imprisoned inside of there, accused of adultery. It was during the Scottish Civil War when Scotland were attacking England, and she was pregnant, and she was locked up in there and gave birth to her child in there, and actually died in there giving birth to the child, and the child actually passed away with the mother as well. She bled out, and this could possibly be her. I'm not too sure, but I'll tell you what it is, it's one of the best ghost photographs I think I've ever seen, apart from what's coming next. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of this one. What is it? You know, what do you see? It's a spooky one. And you've been waiting this long for our bonus ghost photograph, guys. So basically that was 5 of them, but this one makes it 6, and I couldn't leave this out because I believe this is the greatest ghost photograph I have ever witnessed, and it was taken by a good friend of mine, David Marshall. David Marshall is a demonologist. He works with Alone in the Dark Entertainment, and he does his own things, and he's a tour guide. And he was messing around with shutter speeds and different noise distortions and stuff through cameras to see if he could capture different light forms inside of rooms. Now at the time, when you look at this photograph, guys, what you can see clearly here is the seance table. I am sitting there with the pastor on my neck mat for my ID. At the time I'm busy leading the investigation, and I have a torch in my hand lighting up the table. The people on the table we've just been doing a Ouija board, glasswork and table tipping, and you can see there's a lady in purple and there's other people around the table. Now all living people were actually on the table. This camera was on a remote control, and David Marshall is actually sitting on the table as well, just at the side of me. And what's actually happening there is there's a woman in brown. You can clearly see her there, and she's actually the ghost. Really, legit, she is the ghost. Basically, if you look at her body and the size of us, now we're at a tall table, roughly, you know, you can see it comes up to our waist, and we're sitting comfortable on a normal chair. For her kneecaps to be in line with that table means that she's actually just above that. She's just over a foot high off the floor. That means she's physically floating. Now the next thing, guys, she's got no arms. The next thing, she's dressed in medieval clothing. And to add even better, or to make it even better, we were communicating with a woman's spirit on the table who was telling us that she was a witch, and she was stoned and beaten for witchcraft, and she was innocent, and that she needed help and she couldn't move on from this world. And we were really into it, and like, you know, on the table, and to have David actually take this photograph and capture it and see what I can see on there, and hopefully you guys can see this too, that there is a very spooky photograph. There was no one else in the room with us. Our team were accounted for. The doors were closed and locked. There was no possible way, and even if there was a human in there, how the hell are they floating? How did that happen? You know, how do you get that high? The table itself is a high table. It's a school table, what you would get seniors or something to sit at. It is a normal sized table with normal sized chairs. It's a spooky one, guys. Very spooky. Okay fams, I'll tell you what it is, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, remember to smash that like, guys. Yes, smashy smashy, the likey, and of course hit the subscribe button for more content, more ghost photograph videos, more whatever I'm going to do. I'm even going to start doing some daily vlogs with you guys, or vlogs, taking you guys on little adventures with me and showing you around my life, living in a van and all the craziness I get up to. I go to haunted places all the time. I'm out talking to people, you know, there's all sorts of crazy things going on in my life. So I'm going to be doing some of that. Anyway guys, till the next one, I hope you, whatever, I've got no tagline, a sign-off line yet. I need to come up with one, guys. I'll tell you what, can you come up with a sign-off line for me down below in the comments? Let me know. Tell me what my tag or my sign-off line should be. Anyway, for now, peace.